welcome to 8 of Cups Tarot, and welcome to your cards for March. Now, out of all of my signs, I think Leo might be having the most intense March. I have done a lot of these readings, and looking through all of these aspects, it was kind of like we hit this soft spot in March and April. It's kind of the quiet lull where we could do a lot, we could make a lot of progress. But the thing for you, Leo, is this softness is acting out in your 8th house. And there is really nothing soft about the 8th house. I mean, there is and there isn't. It's a very, it's a place where we meet our fears, where we meet our vulnerability, and where we are taught to trust ourselves. Now, because we have Pisces energy here, the Sun, Venus, and a new moon all making connections to Neptune in its exaltation, means there's going to be some work and there's going to be some benefits that come from this 8th house. The thing about it is we also have a new Mars moving into your 11th house with the North Node, meaning that it's going to become apparent your wishes, your desires, what you want next. There's going to be clarity. You see that right here with the Two of Wands in the center of your reading. And the trick is going to be in the allowing, in the trusting yourself and trusting your intuition. If you do, you could find yourself in the right place at the right time, inviting in the puzzle pieces to your destiny. But sometimes Neptune can have us do a real deep dive into escapism. And I say that because your overall energy this month is that of Sagittarius. I see. Now, there's a lot to understand with Sagittarius. First of all, the color purple representing your crown chakra, kind of repeated in some of these cards here, tells me that there's certainly enlightenment. There's certainly a level of intuition that you are feeling at this time. Now, Sagittarius can be yearning for freedom. It could be wanting to travel, wanting to expand, going back to school, taking a trip. It's a very beautiful, courageous energy. And I like it when it is paired with the devil. Now, I can't get over how very split your cards are with these two cards. The overall energy, your environment, is that of the devil, and that's sort of the opposite of the Sag, the breaking free from oppression. The devil represents the oppression itself. It's the bad habits. It's everything from drug and alcohol abuse to procrastinating. It's how we keep ourselves small. It's the reason why we can't crash through that glass ceiling, why we can't achieve that level of growth in our life. Now, I see the Sagittarius from right below it is the 9 of Wands. This is very defensive energy, and it can sometimes represent a block. 9 of Wands is a limit. It's a wall. It's protecting, it's defensive. And I think that you are a little closed off. And what I worry about with the Sagittarius energy and the 9 of Wands is you could kind of be a little bit self-righteous. You could find yourself really judging situations. I also get that with this Two of Wands seems to be kind of looking out in the horizon, but almost sort of looking down as if he is on a higher level. And when you are in any of that energy, you may experience a few knockdowns, right? Like, because it is the energy of justice, it's settling with our ego. And I think the ego plays a role this month, especially because I pick up this Knight of Wands over here just underneath the Devil. And this is a very impulsive energy. I want what I want when I want it. It's impulsive. It's not thinking about the consequences. It's probably a little bit selfish. And that might be some of the ways or the lessons that you're learning this month. But the good news is that there's potential to break these cycles. And the way to do it is the Priestess energy, which is through your intuition, trusting yourself. You see, I think what these two things are is kind of the alter egos. Now, the Sagittarius energy is adventurous, right? But it's also thoughtful, it's philosophical, it's religious. And when I see this Knight of Wands underneath the Devil, this is kind of the more carnal, impulsive behavior. And when I see the Priestess, and I know that that is the Pisces energy, and I have this card here, it says Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. And when we have this Neptune energy in your 8th house, we are dissolving. The 8th house can sometimes talk about our relationship with power and how we give our power away to others. And this can be in a million different ways. But usually what you find in an 8th house transit is if you close yourself off to others, if you cannot allow yourself to connect with others and with things at a really deep, profound level, there's usually some pretty karmic lessons. So looking at this Nine of Wands above this Emperor, I feel as though this is the energy of initiative, which is what you seem to be blocking. Aries energy tells me that there is an opportunity, there is an opening. Two of Wands is you observing the opening. It's kind of like watching your ships come in. Here is this thing that you want or desire. Now, sometimes I'm picking up more on with this Emperor energy as sort of your aspiration of yourself. And what I'm wondering is if you're not being shown, if you are tuning in, if you are listening to the universe, you know, if you are picking up on the signs, you could start to see how you're blocking your own progress. And that's what I see with the Emperor. I see a clean path with the Emperor, and then the Knight of Wands is kind of that not being able to commit, not being able to invest, not being vulnerable or taking a risk. And because this Emperor card comes out right next to your commitment is being tested, first quarter moon, there's clearly some kind of a risk that you need to make, a change that needs to be made, something that needs to be said. And the fact is, you can't have the things that you want until you do this one thing. So how bad do you truly want those things? The universe is going to push you to realize it. I feel like this Two of Wands is a lot of clarity because you are sitting kind of above the horizon, above the sea level with this Priestess energy here. It tells me that maybe you are tapping into your higher self. You are starting to see the bigger potential. I feel like all of these cards are a little bit on the darker side, meaning we might be dealing with our shadow side a little bit this month. Of course, 8th house. And yet this center card, this 2 of Wands, is so bright and beautiful as you are staring into the potential of what you can have for your future. And the thing is, if you let your guard down, if you take the risk, things move very quickly. Like I said, underneath all of this Sagittarius energy, which is an energy of expansion and ascension, we have very all fiery cards, which means stepping into the action, doing the things. This is where we really start to move. Things are starting to happen. And it feels to me that there may be a connection that you truly desire, and you're working up almost the courage to do the things that you need to do to take the opportunity. And I don't know what that means exactly, like to take the opportunity, but I think there's some clearing out that has to be done before you could truly understand the potential of this. Now, Neptune's going to make it hard to understand. It's going to really play on your fears. There will be your intuition, and then there will be the things that we do out of desperation, okay? This is how Pisces can be a little needy. And that's what I'm seeing with the 6 of Coins. Now, the devil energy over here, we have the Knight of Wands, the 8 of Wands, we have the Magician, and the 10 of Swords. This is the shadow side of ourselves, right? I'm not going to lie, for some of you, there may be some sort of a confession or a truth coming out. Often I see that with the High Priestess. I see that with the 8 of Wands. The Knight of Wands can be, an angry feeling as well, and it can be very impulsive. And so this is something that might trigger you. And there might be something triggering you which brings back some old patterns and behaviors. Now, if things are happening like that this month, you have to consider it 2 of Wands an opportunity. Whatever's agitating you, whatever's happening in your life, even if it's not agitating you, even if it's just making you feel like you want to run away from something, or you just feel impulsive. Knight of Wands can certainly just want to, avoid anything more than surface level. If things get deep, they tend to run. Same with the Sag. There's a lack of commitment. And you could have this old habit of lack of commitment and yet see something or want something very badly. And that one thing might be the thing that changes your mind about this. But the resistance, how you handle the resistance to the clarity that comes this month makes all the difference. If this isn't your energy, the devil energy, if you are not dealing with any kind of addiction issues or, having to face the truth or be honest about something, there could be confessions here, communication, apologies as well. If that's not you, then beware of another person in your life. Now, I say this because Neptune can be tricky, and we could be falling deeply, deeply in love with somebody. maybe wanting to connect at a very deep level with somebody, and yet there are blocks. And it may be because this person is a little bit of a player. Their energy does not match your energy. If you are hoping for a deepening commitment with somebody, and they seem to not really be making the moves that you would expect they make, or, you know, because the priestess tells me there's a knowing. You have your suspicions, you know. I think you'll gain the clarity this month. If there's somebody in your life that you're not really sure if you can trust them, you're not really sure what's going to happen next, trust your intuition. And it's a time to really step back and observe, you know. And with this Aries energy, I also think that it's a good idea to kind of make commitments to yourself. It's not a good time with all of this Neptune to make commitments to other people. Okay, it's a great time to fall in love. It's a great time to become very intimate and vulnerable and deepen the connections. Great. But I wouldn't sign any papers when we're under this heavy of a Neptune influence, especially as it's squaring the nodes. There's an element here of learning to trust yourself first before you trust other people. And this Knight of Wands, for some of you, might have a little bit of a negative tone here. See, because I get this Magician card, which can sometimes feel really manipulative with the Ten of Swords. Now, again, this could be a side of your personality, your shadow self. Maybe instead of getting deep into connections or making commitments, you run away to the next thing. Eight of Wands. There's a need for you to follow through. Eight of Wands is heading towards the completion. The Ten of Swords is certainly an ending. It's a judgment, and I see the judgment coming from this Two of Wands as well. And if you are suspecting that you're dealing with somebody else who's a little bit manipulative when they don't get their way, this is maybe somebody that has even like a short fuse. And they may be seeming a little bit all over the place, a little bit chaotic this month, and there's an indication that maybe they're slipping into some negative patterns and bad habits. Maybe they've had them all along and you're starting to get the clarity on it. Be very careful, because this person may really embody this Neptune energy and manipulate you in some way. I say that because right next to this, Eight of Wands is unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. There's maybe a karmic issue here, like this person plays a karmic role in your life. They're teaching you a lesson probably involving trusting your intuition in some way. Here you have the Fox Spirit, Think on Your Feet, card number 27, breaking down to a 9. So we have a series of the end of, we have a 9, 8, 9, 10. We're coming towards a completion. There's things that we're releasing, and that's what this energy is all about this month. And the 8th house is definitely a place where you have to learn to let go. 10 of Swords is an ending, and I think that is realizing that somebody might be lying to you, maybe not telling you the entire truth, and you might have to really sink into your inner intelligence here. Might even take some research. You might be confronted with some situations this month where you really have to make decisions on your feet, and it could involve whether you're going to put up with a certain behavior or not. When I see the 10 of Swords here, I think that this entire situation gets severed, and I do believe it's a karmic situation in your life. See, you're setting a new tone. Now, emphasis on this 6 of Coins here underneath this 2 of Wands. The 6 of Coins is a matter of give and take and reciprocity. It's, this whole center line feels to me like the knowing that you deserve more. knowing that you deserve somebody that can give more, that can invest more with you. And because we have your commitment is being tested, I just need you to know that the things that you are dreaming of are possible. The expectations that you have in partnership, Sagittarius is all about the higher vision, the moving up, the expansion. And I think you're realizing that your own limits are part of this transformation of your ego. Your commitment is being tested. You know what you want. You know what you deserve. You know you deserve relationships where both people give and take. This Four of Wands energy, it's about connection. It's about happiness. It's about seeing each other authentically for who you are, enjoying each other's comfort. Instead of situations or relationships where you feel like you're somewhat manipulated, lied to, not getting the whole thing. The magician can oftentimes breadcrumb as well. He could promise you a lot of things, but they never actually come. And this might be a pattern in your life of settling for less than you deserve. And therefore, congratulations, because March is going to be a really great time for you to overcome this. Overcome the settling and breaking this karmic cycle. Oneness is my true nature. The thing is, Leo, because you are all love, because you are all heart, truly deeply within your soul, what you truly want is that kind of connection, that kind of magic and passion and happiness. And to me, the difference between that and this and the feelings that I get over here, this feels so much lighter and so much freer. And if you are feeling like maybe you are somebody who's struggling with commitment, if you feel like you can't get somebody to make a commitment to you, it's because you're asking the wrong people. If you feel like you are afraid of commitment, it's not a fear of commitment, it's the knowing that the universe wants you to choose something better. This is a big opportunity for you to step and ascend into a higher expectation of what love is. And I hope that you take that opportunity. I hope that you make the right decisions for yourself and for what you truly deserve. Because the universe is so supporting you at this time. Keep your eyes open. Fox spirit, be alert. Don't fall for anything with Neptune. All right, Leo, that's a beautiful reading. I'm going to leave it there. I love you guys so much. I will be doing another April reading very soon. I do hope that you have a wonderful month. Take care. Bye.